Okay, 3.6, slopes and writing equations of the lines. All right, I've always talked about this, where if you have an uphill slope, you start from the left point and go up and over. Well, I missed it, boy, a lot. How about, let's use that giant point. Okay, so that's up and over, and then say that was 3, then 2, then m is equal to 3 over 2. Okay, down and over, you still start from the left point and you go down and over. So say this is 3 and 2. But of course, this would be minus if it's going downhill. Okay, so looking at this one, I see a point here and one here. So up and over or down and over? Well, of course, up and over. So that's 1 and 2. So m is equal to 1/2, or the slope is 1/2. B, cross the y-axis at 1, and then we use y equals mx plus b, right, to fill this out and make a linear equation out of it. Okay, so y is equal to 1/2 x plus 1. Okay, all right, this one's uphill as well. Let me see, right here, and let's say right there too. All right, so this is up 3 and over 1, so the slope is up 3 and over 1, or just 3, and then it crosses at 4, so the y-intercept, or b, is 4, so y is equal to 3x plus 4. Okay, downhill. So you got one there, one there. We would say down 2, and then 3 to the right. Okay, so the slope would be -2/3. Okay, b is the y-intercept, crosses at -2, so that's that, and then we say y is equal to -2/3 x minus 2. Okay, another downhill slope, so you're going to have a negative slope. It starts right here, and then, oh man, no, I'm going to go with this. There and there. Okay, forget that guy. Okay, so this guy right here, could you see what? Yeah, you could see. All right, so this is down 2 and 5 to the right, so -2/5. Okay, so that's -2/5 for the slope, and then b crosses at -1, and then you've got y is equal to -2/5 x minus 1. Okay, this one's the HOY, the HOY. Okay, this is the horizontal line, and the O is for a 0 slope. Just like this, you've got a little sun, and it's on the horizon, so a 0 slope is like the sun, so you know the slope is 0. Now you also know that it's going to be y equals the y-intercept, whatever it crossed. It crossed at -3, so that's the answer. Where'd the x go? Well, if we did that, we said y equals 0x minus 3. This 0 times x is 0, so it knocks that guy out. Okay, so you got -3 here. We know that the b crossed at -3. And so if you have a horizontal line, it'll never have an x. It'll have a y equals whatever number, wherever it crosses the y-axis. Okay, over here, this is the VUX of the Hoy-Vux possibilities. This is vertical. Okay, vertical, and this is the undefined slope. Okay, and your equation will always start with x. It's the only one of all the lines that will be x equals something. Okay, the slope, like we said, was undefined, undef. And then b is where it crosses. Does it cross? It's parallel. So this is nada, nothing. Okay, not applicable. Okay, so this is x equals the x-intercept. Where does it cross the x-intercept, or the x-axis? At 2. So x is equal to 2. All right, down here, I don't know if you can see that. Okay, hopefully you understand. All right, point slope formula. Okay, we have a slope and a point, so we use the point slope formula. Okay, that y1, this x1 right here, that's this point, x1, y1. Okay, this is the slope, which is that m right there. Okay, first time here, I'm going to write it down. Y minus y1. Can you see? Make sure you can see. Okay, so that's x1, y1 from here. Okay, the x1 and the y1. Okay, the m is the one that goes there. Okay, so y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1 is the point slope formula. Okay, so let me see. this one right here, since it's positive, it slides right in there. Nothing changes. It just stays -6. Okay, the m is easy. It's right there. And then the 4 is also positive, so it just slides right in. We've got x minus the 4. Okay, then you distribute, and then you get rid of the -6. Okay, so let's distribute. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times -4 is -8. Okay, so I'm going to add 6. Well, how about I just bring it down? Y minus 6. Okay, now I'm going to add 6 because I want it to be y by itself. Okay, so I add 6 to this guy, and those two guys disappear because that's 0, and then y is equal to 2x minus 2. Okay, so we took it down to slope-intercept form. Okay, this one, okay, y minus the y1, right, which is 6, so y minus 6 is equal to the slope, right? Slope is 3/2, and then x minus the 4. Okay, that's x1, x minus x1. All right, distribute. Okay, 3/2 times x is 3/2 x. Okay, and then 3/2 times -4 is probably the hardest part of this problem. 3/2 times 4. Okay, I just do top times top, which is 12, divided by 2 is 6. Okay, so anyway, but just, I probably should have brought the negative. Okay, so this is -12 divided by 2 is -6, so it's -6. All right, this one's still -6, so guess what? Whenever I add 6 to both sides, that's going to disappear, and so is this. So you've got y equals 3/2 x. Okay, what kind of graph is this? What does it look like? Since we don't have a y-intercept, or do we have a y-intercept? Yes, we do. It's a 0. Okay, so this graph is going to cross. This is going to cross the y-axis at the origin because that's 0. It's understood. You don't have to write it, but I will for a second. Anyway, it's gone. All right, so this is up 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 2, and then you've got a line going right through the origin. Last one on this side anyway. So we've got the x1 and the y1. Oh, we got a negative, yay. Okay, so y minus the y1. Okay, the y1 is right here. So that's minus a negative, so that's going to be a plus 5. Okay, and then we've got the slope, which is there. That's -4/3, and then x minus the 3. Since it's positive, it just slides right in. Okay, so -4/3 times x is -4/3 x, and then -4/3 times -3, 2 negatives makes a positive, then you would have 4 times 3 would be 12, divided by 3 is 4. Okay, so y plus 5, then I got to get rid of this 5, so I subtract 5 from both sides. That's gone. You got y is equal to -4/3 x minus 1. Okay, there you go. All right, next side. Okay, these are all point slope formula problems, and then you've got some different ideas on graphs that you can use. All right, this is really exactly like the first problem that we did on the other side. All three of them. Okay, here's my slope. It's 1/3. It says find the equation of a line that has a slope of 1/3 and passes through this point. Okay, this is my x1, y1. So it has a slope and a point, so this is the point slope formula, so that's what we're going to use. Okay, so y minus, oh, it's a negative. Okay, so y minus a -10 is +10. Okay, and then we put the m, the 1/3 here, and then we've got the x, which is just going to slide in as a -3 since it's positive, so it goes in there. And then you distribute, that's 1/3 x, and 1/3 of -3, whenever you multiply the top by -3, it'll be -3/3, right? So that's going to be a -1. You know, just use a calculator if you need to. Okay, so y plus 10 is equal to this. So let's subtract 10 from both sides. Then y was equal to 1/3 x, and that's -11. And we're done. Okay, now same idea here, except for on this one, they say we want one that's parallel to that line. Okay, we know this is our point. So this is the original line. Say it was down 3 and over 1. Okay, so it's like this. Okay, we're going to create a line that's parallel to it that goes through this point. Okay, so I don't know if it'll be over here or over there, but it's going to be parallel to it, right? Okay, so if it's parallel to it, it'll have the same exact slope. Okay, so m is going to be -3 because parallel is the same as this one. All right, so we use the -3 in this formula that we've been using forever. Okay, so here we go. All right, so we say y minus a +7, you just slide it in there. And then m is -3, we know that because it's parallel. And then x, oh, we got a negative. Okay, so negative, put x, and minus a -6 would be a +6, right? Okay, and then we distribute -3x, right? And then -3 times 6 is -18. Bring this one down. Okay, now we got to get rid of this, so y is by itself. So we say +7 on both sides, right? Okay, then we got y is equal to -3x minus 11. Very good. All right, so that one's done. Now, what is the only thing we have to do different on this problem? Okay, we still have this. We still have the x1, y1 point here. We've got everything we need. This is the slope, but it's not the right slope. We have to do a perpendicular slope. This was simple because we just had to have the same slope. But this one we have to do, flip it and change the sign. So this is kind of like 5/1. It is 5/1. Okay, so the original slope was 5/1, but now it's going to be -1/5. Okay, that's the new slope. All right, so let's do it on this side this time. Okay, so y minus, oh, it's a negative. Okay, so that means +4. Okay, negative of a negative is plus, right? And then we put the new slope, which is -1/5. Okay, because this one's like this. We want one that goes by and looks like that. Okay, all right, very good. So now, yeah, that's perpendicular. Okay, so this is x minus 15, and then we keep going. -1/5 times x, -1/5 x, and then -1/5 times -15 is plus 15/5 would be 3. Okay, so we say y plus 4, and we get rid of the 4, so we can get y by itself, and that's gone, and we say y is equal to -1/5 x minus 1. Okay, didn't leave much room for that. Okay, so that's it. All right. Now we come down here. We need a line, equation of a line that is parallel to this line. So if we can figure out the slope, then we know what the new one should be. If it's parallel, it should be the same as this one, right? Because we're just trying to find something that looks, parallel to this one. Oh, it said y equals -2. So we know that that's one point that's on the line. Okay? And let's figure out the slope of this one. Okay, let's say it's right here and then here. Okay, so you start from the left and you go down. No. That's -2, and then 1 to the right. Okay, -2/1. So -2/1 is my slope of the old line and the new one. Okay, so y is equal to -2x, and then it tells me what the y-intercept is, -2. I could just be done right there, or I could, I could have found it, by, moving things around and figuring stuff out. Okay, so. Yeah, if I went like this, if I went down 2/1, down 2/1, down 2/1, okay, let's go to this one. Okay, so this is my point, x1, y1, and we want one that's perpendicular. So this slope is up 4 and 8 to the right. So up 4 and over 8 would be 4/8 for the slope, and we would change that to 1/2. Okay, but it said perpendicular, so we want to change that slope to -2/1, right? Okay, so this is the slope we should use, and we've got the point there. Let me see. negative 2, 6. Let's use a trick. Negative 2 and then up 6 is right here. Okay, so we know that the slope is negative 2x. Okay, and we need the y-intercept. So if this is a point that's on this new line, then I could go down. What is the slope? Negative 2 over 1. I could go down 2 and over 1. Okay, down 2 and over 1, and oh, I found the y-intercept. It's it's plus 2. It's above the line. Okay, you could do it that way, or you could have done it this y minus 6 equals to the slope, which is negative 2 times x plus 2 because it's a negative, and then work it out and it'll give you the same thing. Okay? Anyway, thank you very much.